Welcome, everybody. It's time again for Choice TV Radio. The only question you have to figure out is it radio or is it TV? Heck, it's both. With your host, Sean Marchese, award-winning executive producer and owner of Choice TV.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm good. This is going out over Facebook, so it's live over TV. It's going out over the air. It's going on everywhere.
I know. We're like multimedia.
You are. You're the king of multimedia.
You know what? We should like broadcast in like theaters. You know, these movie theaters have like concerts too.
Some of them are doing that. Now, somebody actually sent us a press release at the station here that you can come out and watch. They're like, ballets or something.
Yeah, right.
There.
That's right. Because, as Paul said, I am John Marchese, executive producer of Choice TV Productions. What is that? We film business commercials for Orange County and LA's premier business. We also have a radio show. John Marchese is doing lots of things, right, Paul?
Yes, he is.
Yes,
I finally got your picture on Facebook here now.
Okay, good. Oh, I see it. Oh, I look pretty good. Well, I'm really excited today. You know why, Paul?
Why is that?
Because in studio we have Marla Stone. I'm going to talk about Marla, but welcome, Marla.
Thank you very much, John. It's nice to be here.
Yes. Let me tell you a little bit about Marla. She is the owner of Ideal Lifestyle. She is an incredible business lifestyle coach who specializes in professional organizing services, decor, and feng shui for your home and your business, Paul.
Wow.
It's incredible because businesses need organizing, right, Marla?
Well, they don't need organizing, but they want it.
And we're going to talk all about that needs and wants. But let me finish this. She's not just a plain organizer. Listen to this, Paul. She has her master's degree in social work. She has written over 700 blogs. She's smart. I mean, she's very, very smart. And she is well sought after in Orange County. She has also researched how the use of language affects our motivation. Isn't that incredible?
And that fits in perfectly with organizing.
It does. You're going to see how. So welcome, Marla.
Thank you.
Wasn't she an actress too or something?
And an actress. She is multifaceted.
She was telling us how she acted with Buddy Ebsen in the day or something. Yeah.
She's very multi-talented. So let's start organizing. Okay, you do a lot of stuff. Tell me about organizing and your workshops for businesses. What do you want to start with, Marla?
Well, we help large, small, medium businesses get organized, homes, any space that you want to have easy access to, find the things that you want, the things that are important to you. We categorize everything in your space, then we contain the categories so that they don't smush together on the shelves again. And what we want to have in our spaces are things that are sentimental, things we love, things that we use, and the things that serve a purpose. Anything that's in there that's not in one of those categories, really what's it doing in your real estate?
Because people have a lot of stuff scattered, right?
Well, we love to collect things. We love to have things. But the only problem is most of the time we can't find the things that we want to use. And so we end up going out and purchasing more and more. I mean, I'll walk into a client's home or business and they'll have tons of unopened packages from Amazon. They'll have, things that they've ordered, things that they picked up here and there, thinking that it was going to be used or serve a purpose or just that they loved it. And then they really realize that it's not something in their repertoire.
And so if your home or business needs organizing, and I've seen Marla in action.
Need
it. Oh, that's right. If you want it, or if somebody that loves you wants it for you,
yes,
then you call Marla Stone. And Paul, I've seen Marla in action. It's not about throwing things away, right, Marla? It's about
keeping the things that are serving a purpose.
Right.
That you will use, even if it's once a year. Your turkey platter. You're not going to get rid of your turkey platter. If you have 15 turkey platters, I'm going to ask you what's a reasonable amount of turkey platters for a family of 4.
Right.
And then the things that we love, clothes, decor, shoes, bags, our electronic products. We love those things. And then, of course, sentimental. And sentimental things, we just really don't want to have them go out of our lives. We want to keep those things.
That's right.
And I met Marla before here.
I know. You guys are very popular about town.
Well,
both of you.
she is. I don't know about me, but she was at an event, and I met her, and people introduced me to her and saying great things about it. It was a big Media Alliance event here that she was at.
That was when I retired as a social worker therapist of 17 years.
Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, I wanted to figure out what I was going to do when I grew up.
Right.
And so the only thing I'd ever done prior to being a therapist social worker was an actress. And so I thought, well, I'm going to join the media group in Orange County. And that is where I met Paul. And so I did get back into acting, and I did about 4 films, 4 commercials, a play in Newport Beach. That was shocking after 30 years of not being on stage. But then I found professional organizing, and that was such a blessing because it allowed me to not only use my background in mental health, but also my love for decor and Feng Shui, which I had thought about going into Feng Shui. I'd been studying it for about 20 years as a hobby, and then realized I could speak Feng Shui and actually perform it.
Right.
So professional organizing allowed me to use all my talents, and I still do some acting. I've been in a Henry Jaglom film this past year and the year before, and so it's great to be able to have the choice to do everything I love because the business is good. I've helped over 1,200 clients in the past 5.5 years.
That's incredible. But see, I wanted the audience, and because we're going to talk about Marla's research in language, that she's not just an ordinary organizer. I mean, she has her master's in social work. I mean, and you've worked with people with serious mental challenges, with schizophrenia, the elderly, PTSD, bipolar, right? So when we talk about these things, you are educated. I mean, you were a therapist,
right?
Yes,
I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in social work, and I was a social worker therapist 17 years. And my expertise was in serious mental health challenges such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, PTSD. And I created interventions and theories about how to help people long term even then. And then I transferred those the background and my talent for creating interventions into the world of over accumulating and over collecting, and for what we call hoarding disorder. Not my favorite term, hoarding, but for people that have serious challenges in managing their belongings.
Right. So, Paul, this isn't just an ordinary person. I mean, this is somebody with education, because these people that do over collect, there are secondary issues, right, Marla, that they have.
Why are you pointing at me, Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, the office, you know what? You got a client over here, Marla.
The studio's a little cluttered,
It's
maybe?
a little cluttered.
Well, I am sure there is decluttering to be done here. And though John is correct, it's not about getting rid of things. My goal when I work with a client is to help them make good decisions about what stays and then what goes. And the things that go are things that don't meet the 4 criteria. Serves a purpose, useful, sentimental, you love it.
You love it. And serving a purpose. That's your keys and toothbrush, things like that.
Your keys, your toothbrush, all this equipment in here that serves a purpose. He also uses it, but there are things here that he may use, but it really doesn't serve a purpose like a piece of equipment.
Right.
So the reason I differentiated used and serves a purpose are there are things that you serve a purpose, but you may not use them often, but you're not going to get rid of them. And then there are things that you use and you may not use them often, so you're not going to get rid of them.
Right.
I don't even like the term get rid of.
Oh, right.
I don't use that word at all. Rid is a bad word.
It's negative. It's negative. It means loss, right?
It does.
Like you're
it
gonna
means
lose.
loss.
Yeah.
And so I want people to think very clearly about their objects in a very quick manner, because it does cost money to get organized. But it is the best thing, the best gift a person can give themselves in their business, in their homes, in their lives.
So you hear that, folks? If you're at your desk now listening, just kind of look around. Just put in your mind things that you love, things that you use, things that are sentimental, right? Like pictures or,
photos.
and things that serve a purpose. And Marla can help you. And I love it. She'll take again, Paul, I've seen her in action. She'll take an object one by one. She says, tell me about this. And it really gets you thinking about, do you really want it? Does it serve a purpose? Right,
exactly.
Marla?
Exactly. And what category does it belong in?
Right.
I'm not doing this to annoy people. I'm not going through each and every object and saying, tell me about this, tell me about this, tell me about this, to annoy anyone. It's really so that I know which category it will end up in and where it will go. Because the things we use the most stay closest to us, and the things we use the least go furthest from us.
Right. And I wanted to talk about before the needs and wants, which is fascinating, Paul. Wait till you listen to this. I did want to talk about, you work with businesses, right? Because businesses, they want more productivity. How do they get more productive, Marla?
Well, my theory is what causes chronic disorganization is our language. Theorists and researchers are saying it's depression, it's motivation, it's ADD, ADHD, it's being overwhelmed, too many tasks, too many meetings. But really, I have figured it out with my background that our language causes chronic disorganization, or what I call perpetual disorganization. And so my goal when working with businesses and employees is to help them change their language.
Really, and I like this stuff because we all say, and give the audience an example, need. Everybody is need. I need to do this, need to do that. Marla educated me on this. Tell the folks about needs and wants.
I need is the most used phrase in human language, I believe.
Yes.
I hear it almost in every sentence. And I got to, or I have to, or I must. I mean,
I should.
I even heard Hillary Clinton during the debate say, we got to do this and we got to do that. And that's just poor English. Trump was saying, we need to do this, we need to do that. And so it's very, very important to understand that needs are only air, food, water, shelter, sleep, elimination, and sunlight, the 7 things that keep us alive. Everything else is a want or a don't want or a will or won't. So it's that simple. But because the original object that we held in our hands was a breast or a bottle that was filled with a need, we combine need and object immediately.
Okay.
So we can tend to, if the feeding process was not correct, and this is my theory.
Okay.
If the feeding process during our early childhood was not done properly, then we will form more attachment to that breast and that bottle, therefore having more attachment to objects all throughout our life.
Oh my gosh. You hear that, Paul? Yeah, okay, he's eating his banana there. Yes, okay.
I don't even want to think about this.
I know, yeah, right.
Yes, it's very thought-provoking.
It is, it's very thought-provoking.
But that's not the only part of the language. There are other things that I started to hear in working in people's homes with the clients that I really did not hear clearly when I was a therapist.
Okay.
And the second part is indecisive language. And I believe the second most used phrase in human language is I'll try, or I tried. And that's an indecisive statement. It means absolutely nothing to the subconscious process. So what goes along with indecisive language is if, but, when, could, should, maybe, someday, sometime, probably, I'll think about it. And the most popular 2 indecisive words combined now.
What?
Kinda, sorta.
Oh, yeah, of course. Kinda, sorta.
Kinda, sorta, or sorta, kinda.
Sorta.
Now, I had a woman that called last week and she said, I kinda, sorta need to get organized.
Oh, I bet you went off through the roof with that one.
Well, that's a very indecisive, needy person. They're so blocked with indecision and need.
Yes.
They're most likely not going to be an ideal client, perhaps not ready. But what I do is when I explain to them that it kind of sort of is indecisive and it's not a need, then very quickly I'll get to figure out if they really want to do the project or not. And of course, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, goody, I get to clean out my garage or my pantry.
Right.
So, it's right up there with moving.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's time consuming. It's physical labor.
But what this is, using I need and I'll try and stuff, it affects the subconscious mind. Because when you hear need, you don't want to do it. I need to do this.
Well, we're needing ourselves to death, or in essence, needling ourselves to death. And it only puts pressure on us. And those things are not needs. You don't
Yes.
even need to pay your taxes. Honestly, you will get in trouble,
Right.
but you're not going to die.
Right.
Needs are things that if we don't do them, we will die.
Right.
So everything else is you either want to do it or you do not want to do it, or you will do it and you won't. And the thing is that we have replaced the word will with need.
Yes.
And need used to mean necessity, and now it has changed even in the dictionaries to mean desire.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So when it meant necessity, obviously a farmer in the 1800s wasn't saying, honey, I need to go plow the field.
Right.
He was saying, I'm going to plow the field now, honey,
Yes.
or I will plow the field.
Right.
So need came in, I believe, in early media days with radio and television when they wanted to sell products.
Okay.
And so we adopted this thing that we need everything. Everything now is a need.
Like, Dad, I need the new iPhone.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a good, like, no, you want it, but you don't need it. I mean, if you go through your life or your day, you can, I mean, how many times you say need people?
Most people say need 1,000 times a day.
And it just makes them sound so needy.
Well, and I work with people that are highly intelligent professors at UC Irvine, UCLA, scientists, doctors, attorneys. Prominent, intelligent people are misspeaking English so terribly now, and it is confusing them and making them live like the absent-minded professor.
Right.
And so, Einstein was very interesting. He said, there were people that were saying his desk was so cluttered and that therefore his mind must be cluttered. And so his response was, uncluttered desk, nothing in your mind. But obviously he had assistants, I'm sure, and people that were helping him find his things if they were under a huge pile, or he just was able to find them, after looking for a couple hours. But really, no one wants to live like that. No one wants to go live in a mess.
No, they don't. But I'm sure Einstein knew where everything was because he is, after all, Einstein. Right, Marla?
Well,
Okay.
I used to live that way as well.
You did?
So, yes, I in my private practice, I was very organized. But if you looked at my desk, and at home, and the piles that come onto the countertop in the kitchen, and my drawers were full of stuff that I'd never even picked up. My closets were stuffed. I wasn't putting things under the bed because that's bad feng shui. But
we're going to talk about that after the break.
Yes,
yeah.
I was looking for things a lot.
Right.
And that's when, when I started to help people, I read a lot of books on organizing, but none of them really addressed long-term organizing. It was about making it neat, tidy, tidying everything up, getting rid of things. And that did not work for my average client. And it didn't work for me either. And until I figured out categorizing, containing categories, finding the appropriate home,
Yes.
and really having the things in our home that mean the most, and the things that we use the most closest, and the things we use the least farthest, then it all started to make sense on how I and my clients could live an organized life.
Well, what is the third? So we have needs and wants. We got to stop saying needs and wants. Indecisive language, like I'll try, which it does. Can you come to my party? Can you do this? I'll try. Oh, that bugs me. But the third one, it's pretty bad.
Yes. Well, we don't want to get rid of wants. It's okay to want. What we want to get rid of is need. And the indecisive language. The third part is the saddest part of all. It really makes it sad for us humans on this planet. And that is a statement that I hear about every fourth sentence, which is, I feel like, or I feel that, followed by a thought.
Okay.
Rather than a feeling.
Give me an example.
Okay, so I feel like we should go to the movies today, or I feel that I better do the laundry, or I feel like he doesn't understand me, or I feel that this is an important task to do. But we missed the feeling. And in language, all languages, when you say I feel, it's followed by an adjective, or there's an adjective prior to the feeling. So it's
Give me an example. So it should be,
we want to say I feel enthused, I feel hurt, disappointed, abandoned, disregarded, overwhelmed. I'll hear frustrated at times. I'll even hear I feel pissed, which is not even a word, a real feeling.
Okay.
So what we have about 4 feelings for every feeling we're feeling.
Okay.
And we feel so many things. Feelings are nature. They're like nature. They just keep coming.
Okay.
There's a prominent feeling, though, that I suspect many people are feeling today, and that's apathy, which is
oh boy,
that means that we've just stopped caring and we're angry about it. Another feeling, for example, is jealousy. Jealousy is a feeling of feeling unloved and angry about it. So, but we don't say I feel jealous. We say I feel like he's dissing me. So our language is crumbling, and it's, we're not being defined really as human. We're really becoming more robotic.
Yes.
Extremely needy for everything and completely indecisive. So no wonder America and actually internationally, business their productivity and efficiency levels way down.
Yes.
Employee motivation is way down. We have a high turnover of employees now because we just keep thinking the next one's going to be more productive, more with it, have better follow through. And it's not true, because this is an epidemic of poor language usage, increasing chronic and perpetual disorganization.
And not just in the United States. This is across all languages, right?
Exactly.
The need.
That I need. In fact, I've talked to people in India, China, Germany, France, all over, asking them, is this happening to your language? Are you saying I need instead of I will? And the answer is yes. They have a phrase to not say I will.
Right.
And I believe we've lost our will.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what's so sad.
Right. And the language perpetuates it subconsciously. Is that right?
Well,
our language.
We're not that complicated, like a computer, but in some ways we are complicated.
Yeah.
So, if you go back to Psychology 101, we have an ego. That's who we are.
Right.
I'm an organizer. You're a talk show owner, TV show
director, producer. Let's get those credits in.
Yes. And
we have the id. Yeah. Okay.
Then we have id, super ego. That's the parent, the bad parent, good parent. Don't eat that ice cream. Oh, yeah, I'm going to eat that ice cream. Oh, don't go to the zoo today. Oh, no, I'm going to the zoo today.
Right.
And, and then we have our conscious mind. That's what our mind is on,
right now.
In the moment, in the now. And then we have a subconscious.
Yes.
And then we have an unconscious process. The unconscious process is really just the pool of everything that's ever happened to us.
Right.
And it's all recorded in there. It's all in there. Even if somebody said to you, oh, don't you remember that day we went to the market and you lost your purse? And the person says, no, it's still in there.
Sure, right.
It's still there. It's in the unconscious. And, something may trigger it to come up to the subconscious process. And the subconscious process will then let it flow to the conscious mind.
Okay, so the subconscious is a barrier between the conscious and the unconscious.
The unconscious and the conscious, yes.
Right, and so...
And so the subconscious also, though, the biggest part of the subconscious, it's our driver to get us to get to our dreams and goals.
And the language is, how does the language play with that?
Well, the language will either let your dreams and goals occur, or it will block you from ever reaching your goals and dreams.
And that's what's happening, Paul, with the needs and wants and the I feel that. So instead of I feel that, let's give the listeners a tip. We should say, or I shouldn't even say that.
Exactly.
What
that's
is correct?
Yeah, what's corrective is
to say?
I feel hurt, and also with the indecisive, it's I will or I won't. And get rid of indecisive. You either want to do something or you don't want to do something. And it's okay to contemplate in the want stage. Do I want this? Do I really want this? A lot of times when we're saying I need, and then I help a client to say, this is not a need. This is a want or a don't want. Do you want to do this? They'll actually say, no.
Right.
But they've been needling themselves and needing themselves and having themselves and gotta themselves and musting themselves. And when they actually stop to think about what they truly value in life and what they really want to do in life, that action or whatever they thought they, quote, needed to do, when it
Right.
became a want or don't want, they realized it just didn't even match up with goals or dreams or life goals or even short-term goals. And so they just stopped thinking about it.
Right.
And so, but the most important thing is to say, I will do my laundry. I will pick up my home. I will go to the dry cleaners. I will go pick up the kids.
Yes.
But here's the thing. If any of those things that you think you want to do and you will yourself to do, if they're so difficult for you and they make you feel so uncomfortable. For instance, I hear a lot of moms say, oh, I got to go pick up the kids. And I'll say, no, you don't got to go pick up the kids. Do you want to go pick up the kids? And they're like, no, I'm a human bus driver. It's so distasteful to me. I have a master's degree like you, Marla. I'm an intelligent person and really have become a bus driver. So my answer to that is very simple. Find a mom's group, find another mom that loves to go cart the kids around, and then you do something for her. You pet sit,
Right.
or you take the kids when they want to go on a date. Really push it. When I have a saying that says, when you push, you fall. So there's so many tasks in life that we are thinking that we must do.
Right.
And it's not a must. We don't must do anything except those 7 things.
Right.
And that's the air, food, water, shelter, sleep, elimination, and the sunlight.
Got that, Paul?
Yes, the 7 things that keep us alive.
Okay.
So I tell mothers, stop doing the things that you don't want to do. Trade in, get somebody to help you, and really figure out what you value in life.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to take a break. And before we take a break, let's plug your website. It is
www.i-deal-lifestyle.com. And then I also have www.orangecountyprofessionalorganizers.com and www.orangecountydecorators.com. And
wow. Go ahead.
www.fengshuiorangecounty.com and also southoc-wellness.com,
Wow.
which is my business organizing business website, which also the other thing that we haven't talked about, but we'll talk about soon, is that I do workshops and training programs for corporate 1,000 companies all the way down to small businesses to increase the productivity and efficiency of their employees.
I can't wait to get to that. And GoDaddy is happy because Marla has cornered the market with organizing domain name.
Yes.
So Paul is getting ready to take a break. I'm John Marchese, and we will be back in 2 minutes.
Well, you've already fixed John in one important way. All the shows he's been doing, all the time he's been doing this, he used to say, I need to take a commercial break.
What did I say today? Let's just take one.
Yeah.
Because Marla will correct you.
You've changed him already here.
I know. See, isn't that great? In fact, I wanted to give Marla, she's on the paper, folks. Look at that.
Look at that.
It says, I don't know if you can see it, Orange County Clutterbuster Marla Stone in a prominent Orange County paper. That's a terrific picture of you, Marla.
Yes. Actually, the Orange County Register did a story. Teresa Walker followed me around for about 3-4 days to clients, and it was a big, huge article, 3 pages. So it's called Clutterbuster, Marla Stone's The Clutterbuster, or something like that.
That's great. And you've written so many blogs. I mean, you keep up with all this. I mean, right?
Yes, I'm actually very close to finishing a book.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I have some literary agents interested, and then of course they'll field that out to some publishers. But really, it's about the theories that I've created, and there's so much more involved in getting your space organized. So I believe the first step to getting your space organized, whether it's a large business, whether you want to, go paperless or declutter, or get, your cubicles in the right order, or however you want to set up your business or your home, that you organize yourself first.
Right.
And that is where the language theory comes in. And actually also, the outer is a reflection of the inner. So if you go on that premise, if you have a lot of chaos still inside, if you're wounded, if you have wounded parts of you jumping in and taking over and throwing you in the back seat, and you really haven't addressed things in a therapy way or with a good lifestyle coach, then really I can organize any space and get it so uber organized. You'll be able to find everything. But if the inside is still chaotic, I guarantee you, within 3 to 4 months, the people are calling back their organizers that don't address the inner process, and they're saying, oops, I made a big mess again.
Right.
And that's,
clean it up for me.
Exactly. And that's what we do not do at Ideal Lifestyle. We are not, personal assistants.
Yeah.
We're not, scuttle maids. We're not Molly maid. We are here to give the client a long-term system, clear them out of whatever's perpetuating this behavior to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Wow. And that's what separates you from the rest, because a lot of these other organizers, they don't have their master's degree, Paul, and they don't have the knowledge that Marla has, right? Right?
I believe that it is so important to address the inner person first.
Yes.
So when I go to interview a CEO at a large, company,
because you do workshops, right?
I
that's
do
important.
workshops,
That's important.
and I do seminars, and I do training programs.
You increase productivity.
Threefold.
So you're meeting with the CEO. So what do you ask
Well,
them?
the first thing I'm talking about is, what do they do in their life? Who's in their life? Did they have any traumatic events in their life? What are their goals? What are their dreams? There's some techniques that I use that are highly specialized that I developed to really help understand what is inside a person that's blocking them emotionally from going forward with their life goals. If their space is not organized, it's very difficult to see that this person could reach all these great, things that they want to do in life.
Right.
So it's really about understanding the person, understanding what's happened to the person, clearing out those cobwebs, clearing out the inner clutter, and then going forward into the space. And then that person is really present. Because if I have a person that's suffering from a divorce or gambling problems, or they've had trauma, or they've, lost a loved one, or they're losing their home, or anything traumatic, or they had trauma in early childhood that's still coming up and surfacing in their behavior and their ability to communicate, then it's going to be very difficult for them to see their objects clearly. And my goal is not, I'm not a therapist any longer, and I do not do therapy. I don't do the traditional therapies anymore, Gestalt or cognitive behavioral restructuring. So I've created really what I consider more spiritual or metaphysical techniques that actually help clear a person out. There's tapping that I'll do with people, just really extraordinary things.
Effective.
Very effective, very healing. So the person is really healed long-term quickly, so we can get to their stuff. Because most people, when they're calling me, they've just had enough of their stuff.
Yes. So if you have a major corporation, you start with the CEO. You got to start with the top, right?
I do.
And then go down.
I do. I can work with, the management team or, even, division managers and work with them if they're the ones that really, truly are the ones that are responsible for keeping the space clear.
Right.
That's the person. But really, a lot of times these people are telling me that it is the CEO who's causing the over collecting and the over purchasing and the over accumulation. And so I'll tell them, look, I'll work with you, we'll get it all organized, but unless you teach your upper management or the head of the business the theories that go behind staying organized, then I will not guarantee that this won't get recluttered.
Right. And they love you in the end because you increase productivity, and sounds like you save costs too, because they're not doing repetitive things, right?
Exactly. Your friends won't necessarily tell you that you have too much clutter, or if they do, they will not be helpful in helping you declutter.
Right.
But I do tell people, I've been known to go into a home or a business and say, oh, this looks like a dorm room, college dorm room. How's that working for you? And it's not. People want to live in an aesthetic place. They want to be able to have access to their things, find the things they want to use, and they want things beautiful.
Sure. And what I've interviewed Marla last night about, there's shows called Hoarders, and these people are using it so like it's okay. Tell me about that. She said, John, you don't call them hoarders, right?
No, I learned early on as a young social worker that, we don't call people schizophrenics or bipolars or even diabetics, or, we don't walk around, if somebody says they have heart disease, you're a heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not appropriate. It's a term actually for animals.
Really?
Yes. Hoarding, came from the word hamstern, which is a German word.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's what animals do to survive.
Yes.
And they'll go and collect whatever to make their nests and barricades from the elements and from predators.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they applied the term hoarders and hoarding to humans, it was really, truly disturbing for me.
Sure.
And, for many years, it was not covered as a serious challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So most therapists were putting it under OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and then they would put hoarding type. Well, that has changed. It's now in the Diagnostical and Statistical Manual, what we call the DSM,
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not considered a parity diagnosis. So insurance wouldn't have to cover it, which I also find, really disturbing.
Right.
And so, if you're listening to this and you have somebody that you love that has an over-accumulating, over-collecting challenge, which is what I call it, they have churning behaviors where they keep turning it around and moving it, and it's growing in size, and they're not able to walk freely through their space, then please call your congressman and make sure that you get this to be a parity diagnosis like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depression, PTSD, panic disorder, because it is serious and there's nothing these people can do about it. It's in their brain.
Right.
It's part of their brain.
And across all socioeconomic levels, right?
Oh, I've helped people in Newport
Ethnicities.
Coast in 10,000 square foot homes. I've helped people of all nationalities, all backgrounds, all socioeconomic statuses, and it's across the board in every country, every place. Australia has it going on. China has it going everywhere. It's everywhere.
But this is what I love about your approach. You said your goal is categorizing stuff, not throwing it away.
Yes,
that's powerful. It's not. You don't have to be scared because Marla just doesn't throw your stuff away. She'll ask you one at a time. You handhold them and help them because they're attached to this, right?
Yes, it is. It is. With this business, even if it's in corporate, I've seen over accumulation in corporate offices. I've worked with people that are presidents of banks, CEOs, like I said, doctors, lawyers, everyone, and they are doing this behavior, and they really can't help it. It's a primitive part of the brain acting out. In order to stop it, we'd have to cut out part of the brain, which we're not going to do.
No, that would not be good.
So, but what I do is in those cases where I know that nothing is actually going to be parted with. They have no intention of parting with anything. Everything is sentimental.
Yes.
Everything is loved. Everything is used, even if it's not. They think it will be, and everything serves a purpose. What we do then is we clear the space. We do the categorizing, which is amazing. I woke up one night thinking, that's the secret. It's categorizing.
Oh.
Because when I was first doing this business and following what was in the other books, they were saying, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you need
that?
This? And they would show a person a shoe, then an umbrella, then a book, then a sock, then electronic equipment, and it was too overwhelming for the senses. So what we do first is we clear the entire space except for furniture and large pieces and artwork, and then we categorize everything down to a science.
Yes.
Every rubber band in the entire place is with a rubber band, every food product with food product, and there's no mixed venue. And then we contain it, and then we go through each item saying, tell me about this. But with people with more serious challenges, we do not do that. We simply categorize, we contain in clear bins, and then we stack those bins in safe places in the space so they can now walk through the home, sleep on the bed. They can use their desk. They actually can live in a space that's safe now, and they still have everything. And what has happened is because now they know that they have 700 sponges or 1,200 toothbrushes, they stop collecting.
Because they could see it all in one space.
They see it. And before, when it is in piles, they forget that they have it. They forget where it is. They get very stressed out. And the stress actually triggers them going back out and bringing more in.
Right. And you've seen houses that is just, you can't even open the front door. I mean, you've seen...
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between squalor and over-collecting and over-accumulating. But, I mean, the two go hand in hand. But some people over-collect and over-accumulate, but the place is not filthy.
Okay.
And then there are places that actually have become filthy because depression sets in because of the over-accumulating and over-collecting and then not having a place to sleep or eat or, do anything in the space. Depression sets in, and then, nobody is motivated to clean. And so if it goes on long enough, we have what's called squalor.
Wow. And people find like dead animals. You ever find a dead animal?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I some droppings and things like that. But, it sounds disgusting, but when you have enough compassion for human beings and their behaviors, and you're non-judgmental, then really all it is, and when they're asking for help, or even if they're not asking for help, but they're desperate because they're, being asked to move or to leave their home, then you want to drop your judgment immediately and stop shaming people about how they live and figure out either how to do it the way I do it, which is working, without shaming and judgment, or get some help for them if it's a loved one or if it's yourself that is doing this. There are people that know how to do it properly.
Wow. And I want to talk, it's a big area nowadays, Paul. You want to guess? Put your microphone on.
Okay.
Feng shui. So I get choked up just thinking about it.
How do you spell that?
Feng shui.
Feng shui, Feng, and shui is shui.
And this is the idea of energy flowing through your space?
Yes, and the symbol is of wind and water. It's an ancient Chinese science and art.
Okay.
And really came about with the idea that when there's good energy and flow in a space, whether it's a building, a large, building, office building, a hotel, or a residence, that there is not pieces of furniture, things in blocking the space, blocking the path, furniture pieces not put too tightly together, that there's not negative things that symbolize negativity for the person.
Right.
So, I'll walk into a home and there'll be lots of paintings of people drinking, those paintings where like people are standing with their wine glasses
at the bar.
at the bar.
Yeah.
And,
right.
It's really symbolizing alcoholism. So I'll find a lot of people with artwork that, symbolizes drinking and partying to be having an issue with those
kind of indicative of what they're feeling.
Yes,
right,
our outer is a reflection of the inner.
Of the inner.
So I'll go into a home and there'll be tons of fake flowers and plants, which are actually dust collectors.
Yeah.
And it tells me that there's something not authentic about that person.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like learning a language. Feng shui, it cannot be taught.
Yeah.
In one class. Although I do teach feng shui in a very simple way to help people understand the 9 areas of their home. The map or the template that we use to figure out, where your fame and recognition area is, or your prosperity area is, love and relationship area, health area, helping people in travel area, skills and knowledge area, career area, and family area. There's 9 parts to any space. And they're equal parts. And so each part symbolizes a different aspect of what we want in our life.
Sure.
You know?
Now give me I'm sorry.
Yeah. We all want love and relationship in our lives. Although I do have some of the clients that say, no, it's okay. I'll just keep my 9 cats. But they're lying.
Yeah, right. But give the listeners a couple just feng shui tips. Like, I know you shouldn't, when you buy a house, like open the front door and have the stairs right in front of you, right? Because that's the luck going out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't want to call it bad.
Okay.
But it's not optimal
optimal
for keeping your energy in your home.
Okay.
It's a tendency for all the energy when the door opens and the staircase is facing the doorway. It's like all your good energy is going out, and that's not what we want to have happen. But there's a quick fix for that, and that's to put a red carpet at the bottom of the stairs.
Really?
Yes.
You don't have to rip it out?
No. And, it's really the power of intention.
Okay.
This goes back to Abraham's law or the power of intention or law of attraction.
Okay.
It's really the ancient way of accomplishing all those things that we're now calling law of attraction, those things.
Sure.
So with putting the red mat at the bottom of the stairs with the intention that the home's good energy does not leave is really setting that precedence for that not to happen.
Okay, hear that, folks? Stairs facing your front door. Get that red carpet. You should brand Marla's red carpet for feng shui, right? Right? Okay, so tell me about this. What about sleeping? You shouldn't have your bed. That's a big one. Tell me about that.
Well, for your bed, your body on the bed should not be in a doorway. Any part of a doorway. Again, that's a lot of energy coming right in. So if I have somebody that happens to have just their feet dangling, but it is in the doorway of the bedroom, oftentimes they'll have feet problems.
Yes.
It's just a lot of energy coming in.
But you shouldn't face a certain direction.
Well,
that's huge.
for a Western man, your head, the top of your head facing west is a big no-no.
Why? Why is that?
Well, it's considered the death position.
Yes.
And if your feet are facing out the bedroom door, like literally pointing towards the opening of the bedroom door, that's really how they used to carry people out when they died.
Yeah.
So it's also considered the death position.
Okay.
So there's furniture placement is huge not only feeling organized, but staying organized. So I'll go into a home and feng shui is an interesting thing. I first thought it was just, it was a mild hobby. It was a little interest. It would keep my mind off things. It was difficult to figure out, so I kept at it for a long time till I, finally really could speak feng shui. And I discovered that people do it naturally. So I would go into homes.
Hear that, Paul?
I would say, did you have someone come in and do feng shui for you? And they'll say, what? And I'll say feng shui, and they'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll realize, wow, this person is so centered, and they're so understanding of elements.
Yes.
Wood versus metals, and versus water. They're just understanding the elements of life and how things are to be placed. And I mean, it's just incredible.
Right.
There's a part of the home called Children Creativity. That's one of the 9 squares that I didn't mention before. And, they'll have all the children's artwork in there, or they'll have pictures of children running through a park, and then every single 9, all the 9 quadrants are all done perfectly, yet they'll know nothing about feng shui. And then I'll go into another home and I'll say, oh my, everything is out of sorts here. You've got your couch when you walk into the room blocking the whole room. You walk right into the back of a couch.
Yeah.
And I'll say, here's how it's supposed to be with feng shui principles. And they'll say, oh, that's what it used to be like. And so I'll say, well, what happened? And they'll say, oh, I got divorced, or I lost my mom, or my pet died, or I lost my job. And so they were so out of sorts. They became out of sorts on the inside.
Yes.
And so they kept thinking something was off about the outside because it didn't match anymore.
Right.
And then they changed it. They sabotaged themselves.
They sabotaged themselves. Wow. Well, Paul has given me the 2-3 minute warning here, Marla. This is just, I could go Feng Shui, all of this. And it's important to apply Feng Shui to business, right? I mean, that's.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's talk about it real quick. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
you do that.
I'll go into a business and the CEO will be sitting in the health section of the floor plan, which is great. It's great. He's all about the health of the business. But honestly, the best place for a CEO to be sitting in their space is prosperity or fame and recognition or relationships.
Okay.
Health is really all about the health of your company is really about your employees' productivity. So it's a very good place to place employees, but there's certain places in the space of a business where the upper management wants to sit. It's a good idea for them to sit. They don't need to be there, but it's optimal if they are.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Hey, John, you know what I have to interject here?
What's that, Paul?
We need to, we must,
we
want, I don't want to end. What else can I say? I don't want to end, but we must, we have to. I don't know. We will end.
We will end.
Before we do, how do they get in touch with her?
Yes. Okay, there's many websites, but if you could pick one, Marla.
Yeah.
Yes,
should they go to?
www.i-deal-lifestyle.com. My phone number is 949-709-7000. You could contact me through email at findorganizer@gmail.com, and that is confidential.
Oh my gosh. And do you have a Facebook page?
I do.
Yeah.
I have an I-deal-lifestyle Facebook page. And please go on my Twitter account at ideal_organizer. And also at Instagram, the same thing, ideal_organizer. And please follow me and please like me. And I will help you. And I do give a free 30-minute phone consultation at 949-709-7000.
7,000. Wow, you're killing it on social media, Marla. And she is. There's a lot of likes, a lot of followers. Your YouTube channel is growing. And so, Marla, did you have fun?
I did. It's great. I love talking about this subject. I love helping people.
I could go on too, but we must wrap up. So this is John Marchese, and this is great information because people do. They should get what do we say? They want to get organized.
Yes.
Organize your life. Feel happier and feel better. And Marla Stone is the woman for you. So this is John Marchese with Choice TV Radio signing off.
You heard it. You were listening to Choice TV Radio Show. The only show that's both. With your host, John Marchese, award-winning executive producer and owner of Choice TV, right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OCTalkRadio.net.